Good morning, Unity Halton Peel. It is January the 18th of 2026, already halfway through the month, if you can believe it. I can't. I'm in denial, just so you know. So I'm Wendy Karr, licensed Unity teacher. It is my pleasure and honor to be your host and your speaker this morning. And welcome to everyone who is in the Zoom room this morning. And a special welcome to all of you watching out there in social media. Glad to have you. All right. Our mission is to lovingly inspire transformation and be of service to the world. And Evelyn, would you share our daily word, please?
Yes, and the heading today is World Peace. As I affirm peace, I help create a peaceful world. In 1964, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "It is not enough to say we must not wage war. It is necessary to love peace and to sacrifice for it. We must concentrate not merely on the negative expulsion of war, but the positive affirmation of peace. Of course, I will work towards creating the kind of world I wish to see, investing my effort and energy to ending conflict, discrimination, and other kinds of negativity. But I also put my energy into creating harmony, cooperation, opportunity, and other positive outcomes. Today, I affirm that peace is dawning all over the world, blessing all people with warm feelings of cooperation and togetherness. I affirm peace is here, even as I strive to create it." And from First Thessalonians 5:23, "May the God of peace himself sanctify you entirely, and may your spirit and soul and body be kept sound."
Thanks, Evelyn.
You're welcome.
All right, our next song is a favorite, I believe. Seemed appropriate for today.
Myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love you just the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. When I feel the love inside myself, it's easy to love you. Behind your fears, your rage and tears, I see your shining star. And I love you just the way you are. Love the world the way it is, as I can clearly see that all the things I judge are done by people just like me. So till the birth of peace on earth that only love can bring, I'll help it grow by loving everything. I love myself the way I am. and still I want to grow. But change outside can only come when deep inside I know I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love myself just the way I am.
Oh, our affirmation for 2026. Let us just take a moment and breathe into this awareness. We at Unity Halton Peel are blessed with an abundantly thriving community. It is done. And our affirmation for the month of January. This is World Headquarters that is pictured. The real purpose of your life is to express the creation of God. And I'm just going to pause a moment for those of you who might be newer to Unity. When we talk about God, we can use other words. It's not required that you use that word if it's an uncomfortable word. Sometimes you'll hear us say divine mind or universal spirit or oneness. And it all means the same thing, that inexplicable sense of divine eternity that we can't always find the right language for. But the idea that there is something greater than ourselves, not in a person or a personality, but in a principle, in an awareness. Our affirmations for the month of January. These can be found at unity.org, and if you go into the drop-down menu and go to the prayer section, you'll find them under that. And this again is our world headquarters. And I'll invite you, I will speak the word once, and we'll take a breath, and then we can speak it together. Those of you on the Zoom call, thank you for staying muted. Our affirmation for inner peace. Peace flows like a river throughout my being. And together let's say that. Peace flows like a river throughout my being. For harmony, I am the harmonious action of divine love. And together, I am the harmonious action of divine love. For wholeness, every part of my body, mind, and spirit celebrates divine life. And together, every part of my body, mind, and spirit celebrates divine life. For prosperity, in gratitude, I see abundant blessings and possibilities. Together, in gratitude, I see abundant blessings and possibilities. For world peace, my every prayerful thought blesses the world with peace. And together, my every prayerful thought blesses the world with peace. In our monthly prayer list, this month we hold in light and love Unity Vancouver Island and the Unity Canada Board of Directors, knowing that each is a blessing to their local community and a greater blessing to the world. And our opening prayer. And just allowing the past to be in the past, the future to be in the future, to bring ourselves fully present to this time of gathering. We give thanks for the technology that allows us to join together in this way. We give thanks for the consciousness that each of us brings to the group. We give thanks for the leaders who have gone before us, opening doors of understanding and knowledge. And we give thanks for the opportunity to just breathe in this oneness, to allow ourselves to take a pause from the busyness of daily life and to come together. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen. So if you've been around a while, you know that I speak once a month, usually the first Sunday of the month. And this year I have decided that I'm going to do a series on spiritual toolbox. So a variety of techniques and information about how to use our spiritual self in the midst of chaos or seeming chaos or the appearance of chaos. I know for myself there have been a lot of things that have been changing in my personal life, in my spiritual life, in my cultural life, and in the world generally. And every so often I have to go and look out and say, gee, what tool do I need today? And I got thinking about it. And in my toolbox, this is called Harry's tool. It was never patented, but I hung on to it because it's a wonderful tool. It actually does what it says it's going to do. But I thought it's such a reminder of what we mean by spiritual tools. So Harry got this great idea. He's got two screwdrivers on the end of the handles, which actually is kind of a problem sometimes. I cut myself on it once. But then there's a hammer at the end there. And then we have our pliers. So we have opportunities to do different things with this. Do I use all four tools simultaneously? Of course not. I can't. And so too with our spiritual tools. We have a toolbox that allows us to pull out whatever it is we need in that moment. And sometimes it's a tool that I rarely use. I rarely use these as screwdrivers. I find it a little uncomfortable. But as a hammer, oh yeah, this because I keep this handy because this is my best opening jars set of pliers. This actually stays in the kitchen drawer for opening jars. So like that, when we say we have a spiritual life, sometimes we may forget that we have spiritual tools. Those of you who know me know I've been in Unity a long, long time, over 40 years, and as such, every so often, especially if I've been teaching a course, I'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot that was in my toolbox. I'd better pull it out and dust it off, or, if it's rusty, take something and get the rust off. And so I'm going to be sharing that with you over the course of the year as we go through. And I hope that at the end of the year, you'll all have a wonderful toolbox that you can draw on as you pass through challenges in life and as you find ways that you are just bursting with so much gratitude and so much enthusiasm, but you don't know what to do. There are spiritual tools for that too. So we've already seen this slide, but today is going to be about purpose and faith. So purpose is our affirmation for the month from our calendar. And in Unity, for those of you who are newer, we have what we call the 12 powers or the 12 innate possibilities. There are a lot of different ways that we describe them, but it's taking our spiritual self and breaking it down into smaller pieces. I like to think of it, there were a number of other versions of this, but my personal one is a big round of cheese. Those huge ones that are like 50, 60 pounds. You can't eat it all in one sitting, or at least I can't. But if I take it down, if I cut out a piece at a time, I can enjoy that. If I tried to eat a whole 50 pounds of cheese in one sitting, I would make myself very sick. I know that. I have some lactose intolerance. So eating a whole thing of cheese is not a good choice. So too, as we're gaining spiritual understanding, trying to cram it all in can really make us uncomfortable because whatever we have learned heretofore, whatever we were raised with in our family of origin, possibly our church of origin, the schools that we attended, the education that we received, our family of origin writ large, the things that the aunties and the uncles might have said to us or the grandparents might have said to us that we've taken in. And sometimes it conflicts with what we know spiritually or what we have come to understand spiritually. So that's one of our toolboxes too. That's something that we will be discussing over the next few weeks, months, whatever. So let's start with what is faith. Well, here's the usual definition out of the Bible from Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. So faith has a lot of aspects to it. It is at once a very human aspect. I have faith that most drivers will obey a red light and not go whizzing through. With the little asterisk, if their tires fail or their brakes fail because of the weather, things happen. But generally, on a nice sunny summer day, I have faith that everybody will stop for a red light and I will be able to turn or go through the intersection safely. Faith is also a spiritual principle, understanding that which we can't see, hear, touch, that our senses cannot hold onto, but that we intuitively, instinctively know is there and is going to be for our good. Whether it's that I have faith that I'm going to pass this next test that I need to take, or that whatever my doctor is saying is in good accordance with scientific law and perhaps with some spiritual law. I was blessed. I had a family doctor for a couple decades who, after asking, "How do you feel?" would ask me, "How's your prayer life?" So understanding that there is this balance of we can have faith that is out here and we can have faith that is internal. So one of the things about faith and purpose right now, this is a logo you're going to be seeing a lot of because last November, the membership of Unity writ large voted to have a purpose. We had been working on this purpose for a couple years. Those of you who have been around for a while know that there used to be two organizations, Unity World Headquarters and Unity Worldwide Ministries. Well, there was an acquisition. Unity Worldwide Ministries was acquired by Unity World Headquarters, and that aspect has become a department rather than a separate entity. And so a purpose that has been happening right now is finding out how this new department, Unity Communities and Leaders, will fit into the broader scheme of things. And then there's been a lot of faith behind it because as someone who's been in Unity for over 40 years, I know that we have tried to bring the two organizations together. They were apart for 60 years, almost a full 60 years. And yet the membership has said, yes, we see this purpose. We have faith that we can do what needs to be done to bring the two organizations back under a single umbrella and truly represent our oneness. And so this for me was a big part of last year. I was on a number of teams and on meetings and things like that. And I bring it forward because one of the purposes that it is stated is that the ministries in the field, like Unity Halton Peel, will have a greater influence than we have in the past. That very much in the past, things were top down from headquarters, and now they flipped it on its end, and now the field, those of us out here in the ministries all over the world, will have a greater say in what unity looks like and how we express ourselves and how we bring our message to the world. And you might be saying, well, what does that have to do with me, Wendy? Probably not a lot, but I just would like you to be aware of it because it's something that's happening that brings purpose and faith together. And it's been really neat to see how we've gone from this will never work to, gee, we have a 90-day plan and it seems to be unfolding according to the planning. Because people who have the skills and the desire are stepping forward and saying, yes, I am willing to serve. Yes, I am willing to share my knowledge about whatever it is. It's an ongoing path. It's not complete yet. And you will be hearing about this going forward as this unfolds. And you'll probably hear it from me, but you'll also hear it from the board. So I share with you that, it's not just our own personal purpose. There are bigger things that are happening. And for me, I always love when I can find something like this because I can say, okay, if we as a world community can find ways to change things, to make them better, to grow, to expand, then I, as an individual, can tap into that. I can go to someone and say, hey, how are you doing that? I think that was one of the biggest lessons that one of my early Unity ministers taught me, was one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is go to someone who does something that you don't know how to do or don't think you can do it and say, how do you do that? Now, there are some things, crocheting and knitting among them, that even with people being very patient with me, I haven't been able to grasp onto them. And that's okay. I gave it a shot. My purpose in life is clearly not to knit and crochet things for other people. My purpose in life, as I have understood it, is to be a voice of facilitating understanding of Unity's teachings. And that's what I do on Sundays and elsewhere during the week. So let's do a little bit more deep dive into what is purpose and faith all about. Our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, in his book Prosperity, gave this definition, and I had to memorize this because it was on my final exam. Faith is the perceiving power of the mind linked with a power to shape substance. What does that mean? Charles was full of wonderful phrases like this. What this means is if you can believe that there is energy all around us. I think we can believe that. I think we can, I'm wearing Bluetooth headphones right now. I'm on a Wi-Fi. Nothing that I am doing here is physically connected to anything that's happening. My camera is connected, but that's the only thing. Because there is substance, there is energy, there is the possibility of the creation of something. And faith is the ability to see that when it's not yet present. He writes in another book, 12 Powers of Man, intellectual faith admits doubt and hope of fulfillment in the future. Spiritual faith includes unfailing assurance and immediate response. And been there, done that. There's a part of me that can say, oh yeah, that'll happen if I just, take my steps forward. My spiritual faith is the part of me that says, I do not have a clue how this is going to happen. I just instinctively, intuitively understand that it's going to happen. And sometimes it's really hard to do that. It can be very difficult. Particularly, I had some times in my life where I was unemployed at a time when the economy was just doing crazy stuff. And I really had to sit down and say, no, there is work for me. There is payment for me. There is a way for me to share my gifts such that I will be fulfilled and receive the payment I need to keep a roof over my head and food in my belly and my bills paid. And sometimes that can be a really, really hard statement to make. Been there, done that more than once. But that's what we're talking about, is being able to dive into that spiritual awareness. H. Emily Cady, Lessons in Truth. She was a homeopathic doctor who eventually ran her practice on a love offering basis. So no insurance policies, no, Medicare, because she lived in New York City, none of that stuff. She just trusted that her clients, her patients, would pay her in appropriate ways. Blind faith is an instinctive trust in a power higher than ourselves. Understanding faith is based on immutable principle. This was a big one for me because I grew up in a church of origin that told you that God was like a person on a cloud with a big book keeping track of everything you did. And it worked for me for a while, but eventually I didn't. It stopped working for me. And when I came into Unity, I came to understand why it didn't work for me, because I had a sense of the principle that God wasn't a person, but God was a way of describing a principle, a spiritual principle that applies equally to all persons and is equally applicable to our circumstances. That if one is not, greatly engaged in spiritual life does not necessarily mean that they are forever doomed to some kind of punishment. I had this a lot with my great uncle. He left going to church when he turned 18. And he grew up to become a diplomat. And he helped do some of the big heavy lifting for discouraging additional wars. And there was a part of me, and this was part of my break with my church of origin, was there was a part of me that said, how can he be punished for not being spiritual? He's being spiritual. He's not saying God's language or Jesus' language, but he is loving his neighbor as himself. He is reaching out to others as though they are equally gifted and equally valuable. And so this statement sort of kind of pegged that for me and said, yeah, that's what I understand about him. Was he understood the oneness in some ways better than some of the people that called themselves Christians, in my humble opinion, in my judgmental opinion. Again, from Emily Cady, our way is to declare something done after it has become obvious to the senses. God's way is to declare it done before there is anything whatever in sight. And as I've said in a little couple sentences ago, looking around and saying that I don't have a job right now. How come I don't have a job? As opposed to saying there is work for me. And to say it is done now, this or something better. And again, I will say it was challenging. It still is challenging. Even after all these years of unity teachings, I sometimes hit a stumble and I have to go back and say, okay, at square one, what did I learn? And look back, and as I said at the beginning, there are some tools in my toolbox I haven't used in a long time. I haven't needed to because the circumstances haven't been there. But I'm grateful to know I have those tools for when I do need them. Great one for Charles Fillmore. If we pray for rain, sorry, I can't see my own slide here. We should be sure that we have our umbrellas with us. How true is that? There's somebody's actually written a song about a young girl coming to the prayer meeting that was being held, that they were going to pray for rain, and she's the only one that brings the umbrella. If we have an expectation that we want a new job, perhaps it's incumbent on us to let go and release whatever we brought from the past job. Funny thing, when I let go of all the paperwork I had from my past job, except those things that I needed for tax purposes, but all the training manuals, all of the handouts from training I had taken, and I had determined that there was nothing there that I needed because it was so job specific. Funny thing was, once I let go of it, once I sent that to the shredder and let it go, a new job started popping in because I had made the space for it. I had created that space. So if we're going to pray for rain, of course we're going to have our umbrellas, or at very least some jackets to protect us, because we're expecting that the rain will show up immediately. So with that, I'm going to make an announcement that I have been wanting to make. And I've put it in the talk because I know some people don't watch the announcements, and I wanted to make sure that everyone heard this. Reverend Dr. Jane Simmons has agreed to be our Minister of Record for 2026. She signed her contract on Monday, and she's going to be our resource person. She's going to help us to work through imagining what our purpose as a ministry is. She's going to help us purpose what it is that is ours to do and what our mission will be. So you might see some changes in the languaging in those early slides as we move through this. But we will move through this as a community, and we're not 100% sure what it looks like. But we know that she will bring to us, as those of you who have seen her Sunday lessons know, a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of faith. And she will be the one holding the light for us when we hit times where we can't see the light ourselves. And that is, I can't begin to tell you how important that is, to have a bearer of the mission who is able to stand up and say, hey, could we just take a pause here? You said this is your mission. I'm not hearing the mission. Can we take a look at it again? So I am thrilled. I have, full disclosure, I have known Reverend Jane since before she became a licensed Unity teacher. One of her children was in the Uniteens that I led years and years and years ago. So I am biased. I can't think of anybody more suited. She's born Canadian. She understands Canadian laws and rules and regulations and all of those things, even though she currently lives in the States. And she's somebody that we wanted to talk to and see if she would be willing to uh, meet with us. So she met with the board and the leadership team on Monday and signed the contract shortly thereafter. So we have her for the rest of the year. And I think you will see that, in some ways it's been challenging. We have been on Zoom now almost 6 years. And that's been a long slog. A lot of ministries have gone to hybrid or have gone back to full in person. And perhaps it's time to discuss that and see what our next best step is. So that's the big announcement. So this will be about finding our purpose as a community, as well as nudging each other in faith to do whatever it is that is ours to do. And again, from Emily Cady, have faith in what you are doing because you are working with God's own unfailing, unchangeable law, and you cannot fail. A lot of people say, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Well, if we are in alignment with our faith and we can pull on that faith and depend on that faith, and not just our own personal faith, but knowing that we are a community of faith, then I would submit there are great things for us to do in 2026 and going into 2027. And I'm excited. There's a part of me that's like, oh my goodness, what have we gotten ourselves into? I see Patty's laughing. And on the other hand, there's a part of me that is so excited that to get clarity about what is Halton Peel's to do. And finally, again from Emily Cady, your business is to stand still and proclaim it is done. Now, does that mean we sit on our butts? No. The stand still means she's referring back to the phrase in the Bible that says, be still and know. Stand still. Instead of racing around trying to do everything, stand still in your faith and allow that to overflow you. And to know that even if we aren't seeing it with our eyes, hearing it with our ears, touching it with our fingers, hearing it, whatever, or tasting it with goodies. I mean, that's one thing I miss about not being in person. We always had wonderful goodies after service. But just to know it is done. Even if my senses can't see it yet, I know that it is coming, it is on its way, and something great is in our potential. Let's just take a moment for a time of meditation, taking into this time our awareness that 2026 is my year of purpose and faith. That whatever name I wrote on my white stone, whatever is humanly on my planner for this year, whether it's to change a job or go on a vacation or welcome a new being into our family, that underpinning that is my sense of purpose and my faith. And I'll invite you to take this affirmation into your minds and hearts in a brief moment of silence. I am aligned with my purpose. And my faith underpins all parts of it. If I find myself doubting, I stand still and breathe and remind myself, it is done. And for this time together, this gathering, we are so grateful. And we know that our collective purpose and our collective faith will bring wonders to 2026. And so it is, and it is so. Amen.
I need to feel myself at the core of my being. I need to know my stride when I set out to run. I need to feel the blood rushing fast through my fingers to know that I've begun. Knowing me, knowing myself, knowing myself. I need to feel the joy in the depth of my laughter. I need to know the love in the depth of my soul. I need to feel my life here and now, not hereafter, to know that I am whole. Knowing me, knowing myself, knowing me, knowing myself. I need to feel myself at the core of my being. I need to know my stride when I set out to run. I need to feel the blood rushing fast through my fingers to know that I've begun. Knowing me, knowing myself, knowing me, knowing myself, knowing myself, knowing me, knowing myself. I need to feel the joy in the depth of my laughter. I need to know the love in the depth of my soul. I need to feel my life here and now, not hereafter, to know that I am whole. Knowing me, knowing myself, knowing me, knowing myself, knowing me, knowing myself, knowing myself.
Thank you. Our Unity Prayer Chaplains are available for prayer intentions. And just a reminder, it doesn't need to be something that is lacking or challenging. You can issue a prayer request or prayer intention to express your gratitude for something that has happened. And as you can see at the bottom of the screen, you can email our head prayer chaplain, Diane Riley, at praywithdiane@gmail.com, and she and the prayer team will hold your prayer for 30 days, and then it is sent to Silent Unity, which is our world headquarters, and they will also pray for it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for additional 30 days. And we give thanks for our prayer team. Coming next Sunday, we are welcoming back Reverend Barbara Jean Schreiner Trudell, and she is going to be joining us quite a bit this year. So she is coming back, and she is going to be talking about the power of inner belief. And we look forward to seeing her again. It's been a while. And then you will get the next step in your spiritual toolbox with me the first Sunday of February. And we have quite the routine of speakers this year. So we're booked up past Easter. I can't believe how quickly Easter is coming. It's the first Sunday of April, if anybody's counting. Mark your calendars now, please. We need everyone to be here. And our annual general meeting will be after the gathering on Sunday, the 8th of March. And everyone is welcome to join us, and plan on having some snacks available while we go through the various reports. So please mark your calendar for that. And now it's time to share of our gifts. If you are choosing to make a donation, thank you in advance. And I just invite you to go into your heart and just know that matter is energy at its base. And that whether you are doing an e-transfer or writing a check or using another service, that it can carry with it the thanksgiving, the gratitude, the faith, the sense of purpose within the ions and within the atoms. And we join together in our affirmation. Divine love now flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and is a blessing wherever it goes. So it is. And thank you so much for your continued support. We are a tithing ministry. 10% of the income is split between Unity Canada and Eden Food for Change, both worthy organizations that are supporting purpose and faith. If you're still on the social media video and you're curious about us and what we do, please join our newsletter, and it will give you all the Zoom links for our weekly events. Madam President, is there anything I have missed?
You did a great job, Wendy. Thank you very much. So wonderful to have you with us, and thank you for bringing the news to everybody. See you next time. Thank you.
All right. And let us join together with our children's blessing. Children and youth of Unity and of the world, we love you, we bless you, and we appreciate you just the way you are. And we used to say, and how are they? They're perfect in every way. Even when to human eyes it doesn't feel like it, we know that at the core of their being, just as for us, we are perfect in every way. And now as we draw our gathering to a close, let us join together in the prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine. And as is our custom, Sue K. Riley will sing us out.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one tie that binds us, that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one loving family, sharing one son. I choose love. Yes, I do. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One choice unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose
Thank you for joining us today. Have a wonderful week. We look forward to seeing you again real soon.